We are delighted to announce that the Ministry of Investments and European Funds has also agreed to join us as an institutional partner. And with this, I am pleased to invite on stage the Minister of Investments and European Funds, Mr. Dragoș Pîslaru.
Vice Prime Minister, President Jana, honorable members of the Parliament, Excellencies, distinguished guests, colleagues. It is indeed an honor to be here at this year's Aspen-GMF Bucharest Forum, because this is indeed a space that encourages honest debate about the direction we are heading as Europeans. It's a space of leadership and dialogue, and in dire times we really need this kind of space, and it is actually absolutely true that this world is shaped by ideas. The theme, of course, survival of the fittest, it's a good warning. And I think that it makes us look closely at what real strength means today. And I think that we need to see that in perspective. For us in Europe, strength comes from how we stay together, how we plan ahead together, how we act with purpose together. And it is rather interesting that we can really have this response already, for more than half a century ago in the Treaty of Rome with the concept of ever closer union. Right now, to talk about unity, about acting together is so important. And I would like to talk a little bit about cohesion. Of course, you can simply infer that I'm going to talk also with the head of Minister of European Funds, where cohesion policy is one of the key policies for the future. And I'm going to argue that this is a critical policy for the future, clearly to respond to the challenges that we have right now. For Romania, cohesion remains essential. Economic, social, territorial cohesion, these are things that we've tested since we entered the European Union in 2007. And it's very important to understand that cohesion works. We do have the official evaluations of the European Union. We have everything suggesting that the development that we have in Romania, in many of the member states that entered in 2004 and 2007 and even before, was really historical. And cohesion really keeps Europe balanced and ensures transformation benefits each and every region, not just the strongest ones. And I know that right now, in the current deal-making approach over the Atlantic, it may actually be tempting for member states to go alone, to try to figure out ways to protect themselves alone. I do believe that the only way in which we can achieve fair and sustainable growth and respond to the global challenges is by sticking together. And it's very important to understand that we need to look at how we use European resources in a more deliberate way. We do have policies, some of them are tested, again, they are working. But if you look at Romania, access to funds has never been the problem. The problem, or the challenge, is how we turn those funds into real development, into projects that people can see and feel. And one of the problems that we are facing right now, I think not only in Romania, but the entire European Union, is the fact that people have a level of distrust in the public administration and do not see the cohesiveness and the things that have actually changed very, very close to them. And for that, of course, we need to get more messages towards them, win their hearts and their minds by showing the evidence that we have developed as a country in Romania, we have developed as a union, that the standard of living is increasing. And for that, we need stronger coordination between institutions, better planning, and investment decisions that are grounded in evidence, not in urgency. Why I'm talking about cohesion and funding? Of course, Right now, you all know that in Romania, we do have a little bit of a tension from a fiscal budgetary stance, but we have more than 50 billion euros that are ready to be spent for the next years. And out of this amount, if we are referring to the Recovery and Resilience Plan, up to 13 billion only from that source are available until the 31st of August next year. Romania has an amazing chance of not just putting its house in order and, developing the kind of things that we have from schools, hospitals, highways, and so on, but emerge as a regional actor that can certainly help the European Union project. And what is the reality today? The reality is that we have more than 24,000 projects that are right now undergoing in Romania. All of them funded through the Recovery Resilience Funds. And then we have an additional 6,800 projects funded, already contracts on cohesion. So we have this amazing image of Romania being a construction yard with the support of European funds, and I will tell you now that there is no risk of us going in economic recession. We do have a clear economic opportunity ahead of us, and the European funds are helping us. One important thing is to also notice the fact that the current government has managed to create more predictability, and it's on the way to clarify these opportunities even further with full transparency and the national dashboards of all the projects that are happening through the European funds. And today, at 5 o'clock, I will actually be a little bit late at the panel that I was supposed to be, because I'm going to have a press conference with some really good news on the RRP from the European Commission. I will not tell you before, of course, because otherwise, it will be a little bit complicated, but trust me, they are good news. And it is very important for the private sector, for the public sector, for everyone, public institutions, to have predictability, to have the will, to have the understanding, to have the professionalism to, make things happen. There is no way we can, win the hearts and the minds of the people if there is not a clear will and professionalism at the government level and public administration, all the institutions, to pursue a clear plan of how to modernize the country and contribute to the European project. So for 2025 and 2026, we do have European funds, and 2027 likewise with cohesion to guide us through. But the major opportunity and the thing that I would like to address in the end of my keynote is the amazing opportunity that waits from 2028 onwards. And the next multi-annual financial framework will shape Europe for the next decade. And beyond numbers, it will define our capacity to respond to global change, economic, social, and geopolitical. Now, of course, you've heard from my plea that I would like to see, as representing Romania, a strong cohesion policy that will still be there, and that the cohesion objectives will be there. And for that, Romania is going to take leadership. And together with our good colleagues and friends that we already formed, the Friends of Cohesion Group at the EU level, we are going to have a ministerial event on the 21st of November where we would like to comment on that and react together with commissioners and executive vice presidents Roxana Mânzatu and Rafael Fito on the way forward to reflect the future of cohesion. So this is indeed one of the big themes to be discussed. On our end, in Romania, we are actually looking, and this is a very good place to present a little bit of the thinking behind it, that what is going to be called the National and Regional Partnership Plan for 2028-2034 will not just be a plan, business as usual, focusing on the European money. Romania has a decent amount there, 60 billion euro, and then we can certainly try to follow another 10 billion euro from the competitiveness fund, so 70 billion euro, let's say, more or less, that will be available from the budget of the MFF for Romania. And so, and until today, Romania's perception was, let's, get the money. It's, access the European money. But what I'm actually proposing to you today, and of course we will follow through the official channels and mandates, is that instead of having just a focus on EU money, let's also focus on how we can match this amount with national money. So just think that Romania right now, after 18 years, so good age, we can actually match the money one-to-one. Can we afford to allocate 10 billion for 7 years from the national budget just to match the EU money, 70 billion? Absolutely. We do have the fiscal space, 10 billion on average. It's not something that we cannot envisage for investments in that particular period. And then also, because this is a space of debate, and I need to give credit due to the recent discussions that I had even with President Jana, we can even think about a very, very nice way of not just adding 70 billion from the EU and 70 billion from the public national money, but think of a holy trinity where we invite the private sector to chip in as well, with 1/3 as well. Inviting the private sector to contribute with 10 billion euro per year through financial instruments, so leveraging private financial markets, through FDIs, attracting strategic investments, including in the field of defense, dual use, and so on. Looking at the way in which Romania can contribute to the value chains at EU level and attracting the capital, human capital and financial capital, with another 70 billion, that's something that we can do. And we need a partnership for that. So now, from an initial 60 billion that was supposed to be divided in agricultural policy separately, cohesion policy separately, and then a lot of priorities at national level, we can envisage how to start as early as January, February next year to plan in Romania for 200+ billion euro planned for 2028, 2034. Is it feasible? Absolutely. Can we do it? Absolutely. Can we do it only us at the ministry or at the government level? No. Can we do it together? Absolutely. So Romania's ambition is not just to look at catching up again, or basic infrastructure, or the things that we have not finished in 30 years. But the big bet that we are having in order to respond to the survival of the fittest is how Romania can contribute to the EU plan, how we can actually bring back the power and imagination of Romanian people, entrepreneurs, public institutions, in order to succeed further. With 200 billion, that's indeed a partnership, as the name suggests. And that's indeed something that can shape the future of Romania, of the EU, at least at regional level. This process, of course, requires persistence and collaboration. And the next years will be demanding, but they will also define our position, how we position ourselves in Europe. And we have an opportunity to show that strategic investment and good governance can truly change the developed map of a country, of a region, of a union. Europe's future depends on how we act together, not on who moves faster. And this is the moment to look beyond competition and focus on collective resilience, a Europe that grows through trust, responsibility, and partnership. And this is, for those that are interested about political world, exactly the way in which we can convince and win the hearts and minds of all people, of the European citizens, that this is the way forward. Thank you very much.